Welcome back to the Everyday Armor podcast. Today I am in my hotel room, and to be so honest, I have definitely spent the last 3 hours watching football. It's a Sunday as I'm recording this, and I had a class yesterday on Saturday, and then I flew to Denver. Now I'm here in Denver, and I just finished a class at Colorado School of Mines Panhellenic, and now I am just chilling in my hotel room, and then I'm going to go on a run later. But I figured I would just, go ahead and record a podcast right from where I'm typically at after my classes. I sometimes, if I have time, I'll go explore on my trips. But to be so honest, I sometimes just get so freaking tired with all of the traveling, especially a trip like this one where I'm in different states back to back days. Like tomorrow, I'm going to fly to Texas. And then after that, I drive out to Louisiana. So I just get really exhausted. And then I have some follow up work after classes. And if I have any calls and stuff, I want to make sure that I'm getting ahead and getting all my work done. And today I had to monitor my fantasy team because my dad is currently beating me, which is not okay. So I've been live from my bed all day. So I figured I would just do the podcast from here. Now, if you are on YouTube, you can obviously see it. If you are listening on Spotify, Apple, just listening to the podcast, then you probably won't see what I'm talking about. But here we are. I am going to talk to you today about all things Real Housewives. I started watching Housewives when I want to say it was after I graduated, or not high school, college. I want to say in 2020 maybe. And I was honestly bored, and I'd never really understood reality television. And then maybe it was a little bit after that, because I had a roommate and she loved Vanderpump Rules and stuff. She used to watch all the Housewives, and I was like, maybe I should dabble with it. And back when I was in college, I had worked at Orange Theory. So I kind of had encountered some of the housewives there, like Heather and Terry Dubrow. So I kind of was curious to go see what the show looked like because I'd met them in person. I didn't know who they were at the time. I actually met Jonathan Bennett too. He came into the studio that I worked at, and I had no idea who these people were. But I don't know, it just kind of intrigued me because I also knew all the places in Orange County. So that's the one that I started with. I started with the Housewives of Orange County. And then that kind of sparked my interest. And I did Beverly Hills, I did New York, I did Atlanta, Salt Lake City, Miami. So here we are. Now I'm obsessed. But I feel sometimes I honestly almost hate watch the show. I feel truthfully, I enjoy it so much more when I go back and watch previous seasons. Not the first seasons, but before. I feel maybe it just took off online, because I think the internet has honestly ruined so many good things like Bachelor, Bachelorette, and it just makes sometimes watching reality television so difficult. But after I kind of found out about what reality TV was and I kind of knew Orange County, I started to get into it. And I also just have to say, Terry Dubrow was the nicest person. I had intermingled with him several times when I worked at the fitness studio, and he really, really pleasant, really sweet person, and can't say enough good things about him. But anyways, we'll go ahead and kind of dive in here. And I want to start off with just my general feelings of Housewives. Again, I just feel the internet ruins all good things. And I feel now there's almost, it's really the same thing with, again, any of the dating shows too, except I feel Love is Blind isn't totally like this yet, but I just feel people know that they might get famous off these things, which makes it feel so much more inauthentic. Or there's people that used to be on that try to kind of claw their way back because they want the fame that they didn't have before. And it just, I don't know, it just doesn't hit the same. I like the older seasons so much better. But really quick, general feelings. So I'm going to talk about Orange County and Miami, and then I'm going to talk about Salt Lake City later because we're only 3 episodes in. But general feelings about both of them. First of all, Real Housewives of Miami, my biggest takeaway is just they need Dr. Nicole back. I think she put so many people in her place that needed to be. I also really love seeing her and Gertie's friendship because I think it was so genuine and authentic, where I think some of the other friendships are a little forced, and I'll kind of get into that in a little bit. And there are just certain people, even Alexia, Marisol, Larsa, that people don't know how to stand up to them, where Nicole really did, and I think they kind of had to respect her. So I don't know, I just really enjoyed her being on the show. Real Housewives of Orange County, I think everybody needs to be fucking fired, and I think we need a complete recasting. I think we totally lost the plot, literally. What is the plot? What are the storylines? They don't make any sense. It's honestly difficult to watch. I don't even know why I still watch. I just turn it on when I run, and it's great background music, basically. But I think we need a full recasting. With that being said, I'm going to get into more of my specific thoughts here, and I have some things written down. So we'll start with Real Housewives of Miami. Number one, I really hate the idea that when you break up with someone, you only get a certain amount of time to talk about that person when there are new and ongoing issues. Now, if you're rehashing the same exact thing over and over and over, I get it. It's annoying. And I do think that, like, okay, there comes a point where you got to be a friend and kind of put a kibosh on it. With that being said, Lisa and Lenny's divorce is so volatile. There's also like horrible things she's had to endure, horrible things he's done to her, that I don't think you just get over super quick. And I don't even know if it's like her getting over it as much as it's, first of all, unpacking all the trauma, but then having to go through all of these legal battles with someone. And I just think it's so shitty of people that are supposed to be your close friends holding it against you because you're like still talking about it. And again, I understand sometimes you kind of expire your time to talk about it. But if there's new issues, I just think that that's the same rule doesn't apply. I don't know. So it kind of bugs me that they like give her shit for it. And especially at a time where I think Lenny was trying to come after her, and I just wish she could have had a little bit more support. But it was like, okay, cool, you get this one season to talk about it, and now you're completely like, you don't get to deal with that anymore. That isn't going to be your storyline anymore. When again, there's new things coming up that she's actively having to deal with. So that's kind of first thing. And also that whole party with like the narcissist thing, I feel like that was totally a setup. And are they all blind? Because if we're really going off of like the narcissistic definition that everybody uses now on social media, they're all fucking narcissistic. Like, it's not just Lisa in their own special fucked up ways. Like, I really dislike the whole gang up on someone, make them think they're a narcissist and label them with these terms when that should be what a therapist is doing. And I don't know who the fuck this person is they brought in, but I think that game was, first of all, obviously intended to be messy because it's Housewives, but it just felt like such a setup, and it gave Larsa this unnecessary fuel against Lisa. And yes, I understand being late is super rude, and I will be honest, I am someone who sometimes does run late. I tend to run like right on time, if not a couple minutes late, but like I mean, I get it. Keeping people waiting for a couple hours is super rude, and I think like that can be addressed for sure. But at the same time, I don't think that necessarily just like defaults to somebody being a narcissist. And I feel like I have also seen her be there for people and be emotional. And I think none of these women really know the actual definition of a narcissist. So it just really bothers me when people run around trying to label people with like, oh, you're love bombing me. Oh, you're a narcissist. Oh, you're gaslighting me. It's like, maybe understand the term before you start accusing people of those things. I don't know. And also, with the whole being late thing too, Stephanie being the one to step in and be so aggressive with her, it clearly was so thirsty in her trying to have a storyline. And even the way she was talking to Alexia about Todd, which I'll get into in a second, but like, girl, stand down. Like, if you want to come in and not be disliked by everybody, you can't come so aggressive at people when they're not your battles to fight. Maybe you've heard some of the disagreements, maybe you've watched previous seasons, but it's not really your battle to fight. And it just came off inauthentic and just really fucking rude and like holier than thou, and I'm better than these people. Didn't like that. Also, Alexia, oh my gosh. Alexia is proof of why you do not share the negative shit about your relationship, like the deep, deep stuff, until you're ready to be completely done with that person. Because when you come out, especially on national television, and you tell all people like all these nasty things about your partner, no one's going to feel bad for you. No one's going to be able to forgive them, because hopefully you have the people in your life that when they hear some volatile things that you share with them, people don't want to forgive that person for your own well-being. So if you're gonna share that level of stuff, maybe find a therapist and tell you ready to be completely done with that person. Don't come out with all of these crazy things and then act like, oh, no, we're good now. So now you don't get to talk about it. It's like, well, no, we're your friends and we're concerned for you because you just shared all these things that are very concerning, and we've witnessed all these things that are very concerning. So you don't get to just share all that and then act like things are fine and dandy and happy and you're so in love again. People aren't just going to jump back on board with you. So either don't share it, or if you're going to share it, don't expect people to forgive and move on like you are. So that is just a great example of why you don't do that. And it's hard to like going back to like with how Stephanie, because again, like the thing Stephanie's saying, like with Lisa being late, and I love Lisa, like it's really hard for me to unlove Lisa, but she's right. Like it is so rude when she comes at Alexia about Todd. It's not untrue. It's just she's not the person to say it. And but I will say with Stephanie, and even like the whole, oh my gosh, her whole jet thing, I'm like, girl, you don't get to like tell people, like threaten people with your plane. You're clearly using money to have control in this situation, to throw it around, to like have like I don't know, a whose dick is bigger contest. And I don't like that. Like I don't like the whole what do you have to offer in this relationship, and oh, because I have expensive things, then I get to have a certain level of control over you. I went to school in Orange County, and I feel like so many people were very much like who, and I've talked about this before, like what do you have to bring to this relationship or friendship, not really like who are you, what kind of person are you, being forgiving, having normal confrontation in friendships. And I just feel like Stephanie definitely uses her money to control people and to have kind of a one up in certain situations. And like I heard that she tells her glam team that they can't, where did I just hear this? I think I saw a TikTok about like how they can't use the restroom. This is alleged. I don't know. I just heard on TikTok. But her glam team supposedly can't use the restroom for 2 days before they go on her private jet or whatever, because she doesn't want them pooping, because she said that people can't like don't know how to use toilet paper appropriately, so they clog the toilet on the plane, which I can only imagine. I've never been on a PJ, but I can only imagine. I'm sure having some kind of plumbing issue up in the air is not ideal. But at the same time, like that's actually fucking crazy. They have to watch what they eat. Like, what? 2 days beforehand? That's crazy. That is so controlling. Like, then don't take people on your plane then. Go pay for them to fly somewhere. That is so diabolical to me, especially if you're flying across the country. Like, what? I think she's so controlling. With that being said, though, I do think she's someone that you kind of love to hate, as opposed to people that you just genuinely can't stand. Like there was a point where Lisa Rinna got to be just too much on Beverly Hills, and it was like I remember when she was talking to oh, I'm forgetting her name. She was married to Charlie Sheen. That's totally gonna bug me. I actually love her, and like I just really didn't like the way that they were coming at her. And then she goes, "Ooh, oh, Denise." She goes, "You're really mad. You're mad, aren't you, Denise?" Or something like that. It was so nasty. Where it was like, I don't even like watching this anymore. It just feels so icky. And the way they were coming at her and like almost trying to forcibly out her, that to me was just so didn't sit right. And same thing with even, I know this is kind of like a pivot, but Vanderpump Rules, watching Lala come after, and I will say Sheena too, but I think Sheena's kind of somebody that's like, she's a great reality TV star as much as she's like fucking nutso. But like, to me, Lala was just, it's people that are so grossly opinionated and rude and think they're so much better than everybody else. And their opinion is like end all be all, and they're hypocritical and not self-aware, and in a way that's so distasteful. Where Stephanie, she can do that stuff, and like I still kind of love to watch it. It's like, okay, your lifestyle is kind of crazy, and like you're nuts and so out of touch, and everybody except you can see why you don't get along with your sisters, and it's making way too much sense, and why you don't have girlfriends. Also, people that don't have girlfriends, don't even get me started. If you tell me that you can't have girlfriends, or you don't like girl drama, or I'm so much better at hanging with the dudes, huge red flag. I don't want to be friends with you. You have to be able to have girlfriends. And there are different types of girlfriends you can have. There's girlfriends you can go watch football with and just chill with. There's girlfriends you can go talk about life with. There's girlfriends you can just go have fun with. If you can't find a group of girls, that makes me really question you as a person. And it doesn't make you cool. It doesn't make you better to be like one of the guys. I fucking hate people like that. I'm gonna be so, that was so strong. I don't fucking hate people like that, but it drives me crazy. And I stay away from people like that. I don't like that trope. So for me, somebody like Stephanie, who is like, I never had girlfriends, my sisters don't get along with me. It's like, yeah, girl, we all kind of understand why. But like, I still for some reason like to watch her. And she adds something to the show. Lala, insufferable. Lisa Rinna at one point, insufferable. Like I genuinely could not watch them anymore. It was like, get them off the screen. It's just bad. Even sometimes that's how I feel with Tamra on Orange County. But even then, sometimes it's kind of like, well, we do kind of need her to move along the storyline. But like last season when she's screaming at Shannon, going nuts about something that clearly was so traumatic, and you're supposed to be one of her best friends. If you didn't like her, I mean, fair game, whatever, be nasty. But you're supposed to be one of her best friends. And the way she was coming at her was just so distasteful that it was like, get her off her screens. Like, it's not even fun to watch anymore. It's just uncomfortable. So that's for me. I feel like Stephanie is kind of like a necessary evil on the show, and she does add something, even though I don't like her in her character, but like love her for reality television, and she's interesting to watch. Which brings me to Julia. I don't even know where to start here. She is one person that I just want off my screen. Maybe she's a great person, and maybe this is controversial or not my place to say and distasteful of me, but it just rubs me wrong. Like, you just adopted two children who have probably had a lot of early trauma in their life. I mean, not probably, like, being adopted is traumatic, especially at a young age, and when you don't fully understand what's happening and you're in new environments. And then to have these big camera crews recording them and not be a whole storyline, it's so hard with me with like kid dynamics when they're like, even with her daughters and how they perceive the adoption and the struggles there. And like, that's going to be something that these little boys are going to watch back later, or could watch back. And it just doesn't sit totally right with me. And even aside from that, like, I know that's a more serious note, maybe that's like a controversial or like not right thing to say, but aside from that, I just think that doesn't add anything. I think she is such a clout chaser. I really, 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 really don't like how she threw the water on Gertie. And the fact that people weren't more upset about that is so baffling to me. I don't care what the fuck is in the cup. I do not think it is ever, under any circumstance, okay to throw a drink on somebody, unless they are like, it is like a man that is being so aggressive, so disgusting, and like whatever. Maybe even then, I think it's still distasteful. But throwing a drink, I don't care what is in that cup, on someone you're supposed to consider a friend, and regardless, a coworker, is so fucking disgusting. And there's been, I feel like, so much outrage on other shows with this, and maybe even actually Miami. I don't know why there wasn't more outrage and Julia doing that to Gertie. And I'm like, put me in, coach, because that was so wrong to me, and I would have totally had Gertie's back. Like, and I don't know exactly what happened on that cruise. Honestly, the whole thing lost me, and don't get me wrong, I do think Gertie flashing those texts was like a little tacky, but at the same time, the way it was portrayed on the show was very different than how it actually happened. Because I listened to her in an interview, and it seems like there were important details. Like, first of all, those were all of her friends, and second of all, I'm pretty sure like the main like serious parts of the evening had already passed. Like, they were transitioning. She was like having like a DJ or like a band or something that was coming out, and then she did that. And again, they're her friends. It's not like she had a bunch of people from like certain cancer society that she didn't know, or they didn't understand that she was on Housewives. So that was really lost in translation. Though I do think it's like pretty tacky and crazy, but like, it's also Housewives, so that it's kind of like you expect it, and like I loved it. So I don't really know what happened there, but I do just feel like Julia is such a clout chaser, even the way she treats Adriana. Like, it makes me so sad for Adriana, because they clearly were really good friends. And I feel like the second she got accepted by Marisol and Alexia, she just completely defers to them, totally defends them over Adriana, and wants to stay in that little clique. And when she went on the plane with Stephanie, even though I don't like Stephanie, I will say I was like, yeah, go Stephanie. When they got there, and Julia immediately, I mean, it was like high school. It goes up to her like, oh my God, we were just talking about you, like blah, 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 blah. It's like, girl, first of all, play it cool. And second of all, you were just like asked to keep this private. It was just so, I just can't stand her. Get her off my screen. Not down for her. Kiki can do no wrong. I'm obsessed with her. She has the best one-liners. I freaking love her. I think she's hilarious. And honestly, even when she's like, should she have put the age on the cake? Like, no, probably not. But like, I would defend her through and through. I fucking love Kiki. And I don't even have anything to say aside from I love her. Gertie, I will say I do really feel like she needs Nicole there. I feel like no one fully has Gertie's back, and she has a lot of other people's back. Though I do think she needs to stop refereeing arguments. That was honestly very insufferable. Like her trying to moderate. I think it was Lisa and Larsa that were having some kind of argument, and she's like jumping in, interrupting them. It was like, Gertie, we can't hear what they're saying. Girl, calm down. Like, just go ahead and step aside. Let them have their little argument or their talk. But I do love her, and I wish that she had someone like Dr. Nicole back in there to really have her back and kind of be like an alliance. And it was such a genuine friendship. That's what it just makes me sad that like we're missing that. And I feel like she's going through so many real things that I appreciate seeing. And normally I don't like love the like therapy scenes or the really personal stuff. Like I'm more like I'm watching Real Housewives to get the like the drama, the tea, the like kind of mind numbing TV, but I really like watching her scenes, and I love her relationship, and I love her relationship with her boys. I really like Gertie, and I wish that we had more of her and Dr. Nicole. What's next? Real Housewives of Orange County. That's really all my thoughts there. I just feel like sometimes too, like it's just like we're circling the drain too much. And also, really quick, going back to Lisa and Larsa, when they were at that dinner, and Lisa was clearly again dealing with stuff at the dinner. Again, why I love Gertie, she actually like noticed, okay, this is something serious. Doesn't matter if you're late. Doesn't matter what else we're arguing about. You have some real stuff going on, and we need to be here for you. Takes her aside, talked to Jody, and was like, "Yo, you got to stop the texting. That's not a good look." Which I will say it is a hard thing, I'm sure, when you are being brought into things, and especially if Larsa was the one reaching out to him, like they had said. But obviously, men should never really get involved with like girls' arguments. Like leave that to them, even if you are being brought into it. And I appreciate the way that Gertie could portray that to him and talk to him about that. Like it's not a good look. Just stop it. Don't respond. But she was really there for Lisa and wanted to help her and made sure that she like rallied around her in the time when Lisa really needed it. And I just really respect her for that. But the way Larsa went after Lisa, it's like if you're again supposed to be good friends, the way you're going after her when she's dealing with some really real shit, just because you're over it doesn't mean that she's done dealing with things. So I just, again, it was just another example of how Gertie's so great and how, I don't know, Larsa is just, I can't with her. I feel like she's such a hypocrite in every sense of the word and thinks that she really does no wrong. But again, she's kind of like Stephanie, where it's such a lack of self-awareness and so much hypocrisy that you kind of just still love to watch. It's like endearing almost. But Julia, like, we gotta no more. And I'm sure she's great, but like I can't anymore. Anyways, segueing out of Real Housewives of Miami into, I also keep saying Miami. I don't know why when I go to say it. Real Housewives of Orange County. Now this is really genuinely an insufferable show. I don't know how I keep watching. I don't know why I keep watching, but I do, and I have. So here we are. First of all, what is the point of Gretchen being back? And if you want to bring Gretchen back, like when they had what's her name from last season? The one that was dating, is it Alexis? Maybe. She was dating John Jansen. Like that made sense. Okay, there was old beef, but now she's dating Shannon's, ex-boyfriend. So there was also current problems, which is I feel like what they focused on. Bringing Gretchen in and having all these things from 10 plus years ago. First of all, I haven't watched those seasons. I honestly, Orange County to me has always never been that great. So like I didn't have much interest in watching those other seasons. And for people that are newer or people that just honestly genuinely forgot, it's not interesting. Like the beef from 10 years ago, no one's taking sides on it because we don't remember what happened. We didn't see what happened, a lot of us. So to me, it's like, I don't really care about this. I don't care to listen to it. I don't really care if Tamara had an affair 10 years ago. It's first of all, I don't even really care about Tamara that much. So like, what's it to me? I don't know. So I don't really understand bringing her back and having the focus be on these things that happened. And with the whole like going to the hospital or not, I don't know how you get those details wrong. You either did or you didn't. And you clearly did say that you had gone to the hospital the day after this party or whatever, which I still don't understand what this party was. I don't know the lore. And I really don't care to know. I think I actually looked it up on TikTok one time and I was like, I'm done trying to figure this out. It's just exhausting. Now, Katie recording Shannon to me is so weird. Like her talking to bloggers, her recording Shannon. If one of my friends ever recorded me, But I don't care, even like if it was something funny and they had it like secret and we're going and showing people that I didn't like or didn't like me, it would be so strange to me, let alone in this context. It's just so icky. I don't know why you would do that. Like, you're so weird for doing that. And talking to bloggers, you're also so weird. And like, stop doing it. But I will say with Katie, I do think people, because she's kind of lied and been a little like before, and I also do think like going back to last season, I kind of do feel like Gina set her up for failure there and then kind of backpedaled because she didn't want to be on Heather's bad side. And then I think it was really easy for people to kind of turn and target and have like a common enemy in Katie. And then I think that's carried over to this season where, oh, because Katie has lied before, like we've thought she lied or she's been caught in things, then we'll just kind of hide behind her for every situation we don't want to be in trouble for, we don't like, or we don't want to be in the middle of. Like, and I do love Jen, but I do kind of feel like she's doing that where she doesn't want to be in the middle of the drama. She doesn't want to be in the hot seat. So she's just going to hide behind Katie and make Katie look crazy. And I don't like that. Like, she can maybe have been dishonest, but I mean, she has taken ownership for certain things, but don't just let her be the scapegoat for everybody else's issues. And I do feel like that's kind of what it's come down to. And I do think that Shannon has started to become a little insufferable. Like, I was team Shannon last year, even though I just have zero tolerance, drunk driving, getting in the car. It's disgusting. In today's day and age, like if you can't afford a $20 Uber to go out, you shouldn't be drinking in the first place. You shouldn't even be buying the drinks. So like, we shouldn't be out. So I don't know why she drove. I don't know why she thought that was okay. But I do feel like in those really low moments, what she did aside, she hit rock bottom and needed her closest friends. And supposedly Tamara was one of those friends. And she should have had her back. She should have been helping her, not hurting her, not coming after her and being so mean with how she did it. With that being said, so I had some sympathy. And she was like supposedly getting help and moving in the right direction. With that being said, I'm fucking annoyed for this season. Like, girl, if you're trying to set boundaries and be around healthy people and stuff, get the fuck off Housewives. Like, you know the job, you know what you're supposed to be doing. Like, this is not like Portia. I feel like she kind of saw that she got all this support last season and now she's almost trying to like kind of bask in it. And I'm not going to be on Tamara. You were so horrible to me and all these things. No, girl, you're on Housewives. Like, time to get over it. You can still hold her feet to the fire a little bit, but you don't get to go be like a constant victim. You did also land yourself in the position you got in. So at some point, you got to stop just trying to be the victim. And it's like getting a little old. And I do think, again, totally wrong of Katie to have recorded her, but the way she's like, I won't be around her, or, you have a job, you get paid to do this, and you do kind of need to suck it up and either get over it or get off the show. If you really want to set those boundaries, get off the fucking show. What else? Also, I don't even like, who is Slade? What is Slade? Does he have a job? I don't care. All that drama to me just makes literally no sense. I'm just so not about it. I'm so bored of it. And I really just like, also the other storyline that kind of bugs me with, and again, maybe this is like a wrong thing to say, controversial, and I shouldn't say it, but I'm going to say it anyways. I really don't like when people go on TV and disclose, especially medical struggles of kids that are not at the age to understand them sharing it, to consent to their parents sharing it, because that's forever out there. When Emily's kids enter high school, when her son enters high school, all of this footage of his struggles are going to be out there for people to see and like make fun of him. And like, if you're, I don't know, it's so distasteful to me. I really don't like it. I feel uncomfortable watching it. I fast forward through all of her scenes with like her son. I really don't like it. And that's even if you have a kid that's going through like mental health struggles, if they haven't consented to really wanting that shared, or they're not at an age where they understand what's being shared and the possible kind of ramifications of that, it just comes across so icky and weird to me. And I don't know why somebody would share that. And I'm not trying to mom shame. I'm not a mom. I just know from more of a kid's perspective, if I had gone through struggles, and I did go through struggles as a young kid, and something that I would never want out there. I would never want people to know that. But then if I knew that my mom was not only out there sharing it, but sharing it from her perspective, not my perspective when I was the one going through it. So she kind of totally controlled my narrative. And again, I know it's about like Emily struggles parenting and, handling all of that. And I have sympathy for her totally. And I know that that's probably a really difficult situation. The idea of having all that footage out there that's going to follow her son when he's so young and doesn't fully understand, I don't like it. I don't know. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't like to watch it. I fast forward through it. I don't really like it. I don't know. Last couple points with Real Housewives of Orange County. I mean, truthfully, I don't even know what the fuck's going on half the time. Jen, I'm like, I don't really care if you're happy. Great, cool. I like Jen. I'm not interested in her engagement. I'm really not. Also, I do think it's a little weird. He's like getting her in, I don't know, bikinis. Also, wait, one thing. Was it true that the Slade character, had like done some kind of stand-up something with a photo of Tamara in a bikini? Because what is up with these people trying to like body shame each other, which also these pictures they're showing, I'm like, uh, I hope I look like that when I'm a mom. Like, oh my gosh, I hope I look like that. They look great. I don't know why we're using these photos to body shame women, and why especially, I don't care when the fuck it was. Even if it was 15 years ago, I feel like that was still never okay or acceptable or like a funny thing. I don't know, and I don't even love Tamara, but like that is super fucking wrong. People are bizarre to me in this world. And what's funny to me are all these guys that like husbands or boyfriends or whatever, like John Jansen, that just follow these girls around and like kind of hop from one to one because they just like being in on all of it. It's so icky to me. Like, what are you doing? And you don't need to be in the show. I would hope, like, I know my fiance would never want to be, if I was like a housewife, which I never would be, but if I was, he wouldn't want to be first of all, part of any of the drama, let alone hardly on the show, except if it was like to support me. Some of these guys, I'm like, what is going on? Getting in the middle of all the drama. Like, what's his name? Jen's fiance. I don't know. I forget his name. He's clearly irrelevant. Last thing here, Tamara. Oh, okay. I will say she does want forgiveness with Teddy. And obviously what Teddy's experiencing is horrible. And I can't even imagine one of my close friends going through such like a traumatic, horrible health scare. But I will say, you're looking for sympathy because you're going through something hard. But at the same time, one of your other good friends, Shannon, was going through something very hard, and you extended her like zero grace or empathy or like understanding. And so it's like you don't get to pick and choose who gets sympathy. And when she just like up and leaves the cast trip, it was like, okay, girl, if you're gonna get up and leave, go ahead and do your thing. But then you don't get to turn around and be like, oh, well, you didn't contact me and see if I was okay, and you didn't get to. It's like we're not four. You don't get to throw a fit and run away and then expect everybody's gonna come in and check on you and then call them a bad friend if they don't. No, if you want to talk to somebody, if you're having a hard time, go talk to them, deal with it. Don't run away from it like a child and use that against people. And I actually really appreciated like the conversation her and Heather had. Also, Heather is just like fabulous, and I feel like she's just in a different place. I do really want her in Beverly Hills. I look at this cast and I'm like, what is going on? Like, I like Gina. Why is she there? Even Emily a little bit. I'm like, yeah, sometimes she's very rational, but like, eh. I could do without. We need a recasting. I don't know, put Heather in Beverly Hills or keep Heather there and get her a better cast. I don't know. I'm not really understanding it. Also, Gina, way better person than I don't know how her and her exes, who did definitely mistreat her in some very serious ways, her relationship with his new, I think maybe wife or fiance, girlfriend, so commendable. Such a big person. I don't know if I could do it. I so respect it. I hope that, God forbid, knock on wood, I'm never in that position. But like, if I ever was, I hope that I would be as big a person as her. I truly have so much respect for her, for the way she's handled that for her kids, and like the way they can all come together. I think it's phenomenal. I just don't think she needs to be on Housewives. I don't know. But I'm proud of her, for working hard. And I know they showed her house and stuff, and I thought it was really cute. Her house is beautiful. And I will say, I do think it's really strange to me when like the women are clearly like house shaming. Is that a thing? Like, those are not your friends. Like, it's so catty. some Orange County people are just very wild to me, but that's a whole nother thing. Anyways, those are kind of my thoughts. I think these are probably there are two franchises I can't stop watching and I really want to be good, especially Orange County, because like I know all the places they go to. I used to live there like for a very long time, so it's fun for me to watch it. But at the same time, it's like it just kind of, I don't know, it's very lackluster. And Miami, I like watching Miami, but at the same time, I just think we need some more like zhuzh. And I think Stephanie was actually a great ad. I just think we need Dr. Nicole back. I think Dr. Nicole with Stephanie, with Alexia, three strong personalities, I think would be like chef's kiss. Also, like Dr. Nicole and Stephanie having dated like the same guy, I feel like Stephanie might be like a little, I don't know about that. Also, I'm so curious to know. I've seen like all the TikTok rumblings, which alleged that like something is off with like Stephanie's finances or something, or their house that they were building in the episode. I don't know. I just think all these people are fascinating. I could never do Housewives, so I commend them for doing it. I do hope in the future, with all reality TV, that at some point we try to address how to downplay the like influencer side of it, because I just think it takes away so much from these franchises. I think it takes away from Bachelor, Bachelorette, Housewives, other reality TV shows, because people, even Love Island, where you look at Love Island, not this past year, but the year before it got big, USA, and they just really were being themselves. Like they kind of didn't really think anybody would be watching it. They weren't that concerned. They come out and it was like a whole big thing, because I think people felt how authentic it was and they weren't just trying to get famous off it. They did happen to, but then you fast forward to this most current season, this last summer, 2025 Love Island USA, and it was like, who is this cast? Like they were all, first of all, influencers. Second of all, they clearly just wanted to be famous and were so hyper conscious of like how people may have been perceiving them, and it completely altered the way they acted and reacted. And people don't realize that when you're being inauthentic, you're losing people. It doesn't matter, even if like you're so out of touch, like Lisa, like I don't agree with everything she says and does. She's so out of touch, but like I love her. Bronwyn, love her, even though sometimes she is a little out of touch, which actually maybe she's not. I really like Bronwyn on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, but like Heather Dubrow, also very out of touch sometimes, but love her. Can't fully relate to her, but love her. And I just think when you are more authentic, more yourself, even if you are super eccentric and like, come after people. And I'm trying to think of an example. Even Larsa sometimes. It's like, yeah, Sheena. Yeah, she's insufferable in Vanderpump Rules, but at the same time, she's just herself. And it's like, you gotta have to respect her for it. So I think that for me is where reality TV lacks sometimes, and where it's hard to watch, where I just wish people weren't so manufactured and aware of how they were being perceived and trying to get famous or trying to be like Stephanie. It's like, okay, I feel like you're a little bit trying too hard to like come in with the crazy one-liners and be, a little aggressive or whatever else with what you're saying, like with coming after Todd or coming after Lisa for being late and stuff. So I hope there's a way to address that in the future. But I'm excited to start watching. I haven't started watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. My mom and I are both going to watch the 3 most current seasons and hopefully do an episode talking about it. So my mom's never watched before. I've watched every single season of Salt Lake City. So I'm curious to kind of see her perspective on who she takes to, who she likes from the first couple episodes versus like me having all the lore behind it and how I feel about it. But if you guys like hearing about reality TV recaps and stuff, please let me know. I love reality TV, so I'm more than happy to do these episodes all the time and just get all my thoughts out there. But let me know if you guys want to see, if you ever want to come on and discuss, like you watch the shows, please, please, please come join me. I would love that. I love talking reality TV. And I think it's so interesting finding people's takes on things, because I think it says a lot about them, where who do you tend to like, who do you strongly dislike, and why, and understanding that, I think it just helps understand like human psychology and human behavior and how people perceive things. So I find it very interesting. But anyways, enough of me rambling on about Housewives. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts. I always love to hear thoughts about reality TV, and I look forward to chatting with you in the future. Please rate, review, subscribe, share the episodes. Let us know what you're thinking. If you have any questions, all that's below in the show notes. and I will chat with you later. I'm gonna go watch the last football game and then get ready for my flight tomorrow morning. Thank you guys.